Before Napoleon's armies thundered across Europe, before the Ottomans shook the gates of Vienna, there was another warrior state. Not in Europe, not in Asia, but in the vast grasslands of West Africa. A state forged by the Yoruba people, masters of cavalry, politics, and power. A kingdom called Oyo. This is the story of how Oyo rose from myth and legend to dominate half a continent. How it built a warrior state so feared that even European traders bent to its will. And how, like all empires, it finally collapsed under the weight of ambition, betrayal, and change. This is the story of the Oyo Empire. The Yoruba people trace their origins to a place of myth and mystery, Ile-Ife. It was here, legend tells us, that Oduduwa descended from the heavens, carrying a chain, a rooster, and a handful of earth. From these sacred gifts, land was formed and civilization began. Ile-Ife became the spiritual heart of the Yoruba world, the city of gods, kings, and bronze masters. But empires are not built on faith alone. To the north of Ife stretched endless savanna, perfect for horses, for armies, and for conquest. And it was here, in the 14th century, that Oronmion, a prince of Ife, founded a new kingdom, Oyo. Oyo's position was no accident. It sat at the crossroads of trade, linking the forest kingdoms of the south, the Saharan caravan routes of the north, and the Atlantic coast beyond. From the start, Oyo was destined not just to survive, but to conquer. What made Oyo different was the horse. In the thick forests of West Africa, cavalry, an army on horseback, was useless. But Oyo, sitting on open savanna, had the perfect terrain. From the Hausa lands and the Niger Bend came horses, tall, swift, and deadly. And with them, the Yoruba forged one of Africa's first true cavalry states. The Alafin, the king of Oyo, commanded these armies. But he was no tyrant. He ruled through generals, war chiefs, and the crown prince. Known as the RMO, battles were not just about swords and arrows. They were also spiritual. The god Shango, patron of lightning, was invoked before each campaign. By the 16th century, Oyo was unstoppable. It defeated the Nubi to the east, humbled Dahomey to the west, and raided deep into the forest kingdoms to the south. Its armies were fast, ruthless, and disciplined. Oyo had become West Africa's Sparta, a warrior state built on the back of cavalry. But brute force alone does not sustain an empire. Oyo's genius lay in its politics. The Alafin was a divine monarch, the chosen of the gods. But he was not all-powerful. The Oyo Messi, a council of 7 noble chiefs, could challenge him. If a king grew corrupt or tyrannical, they had the power to present him with an empty calabash or parrot egg, a silent command to commit suicide. Balancing them was the Ogboni, a secretive society of elders and priests, guardians of Yoruba religion and morality. In Oyo, power was never absolute. It was checked, balanced, and negotiated centuries before European states would develop similar systems. But Oyo was more than politics. It was culture. It was drumming that echoed across the savannah. It was masquerades where spirits were believed to walk among the living. It was the worship of gods like Shango and Ogun, and the crafting of art so refined that even today, Yoruba bronzes and carvings astonish the world. This was not just a warrior state. It was a civilization. By the 17th century, Oyo stood at its zenith. Its borders stretched from the Niger River in the east to the Atlantic Ocean in the south, and deep into Dahomey in the west. Tribute poured into its capital: slaves, ivory, cola nuts, horses, and textiles. Caravans carried salt and gold from the Sahara. European ships brought muskets, gunpowder, and goods from across the seas. The Alafin was no longer just a king. He was an emperor, commanding one of the wealthiest, most feared states in Africa. European traders, Portuguese, Dutch, British, treated Oyo with respect, for they knew its armies could crush rivals and its markets, control the flow of slaves and goods to the coast. At its height, Oyo was not just a kingdom, it was a superpower. But all empires carry within them the seeds of their downfall. For Oyo, those seeds were ambition and betrayal. The empire had grown too large, too unwieldy. Princes quarreled for power, generals schemed for the throne, provinces resented their tribute. The Dahomey resisted fiercely, sometimes paying tribute, sometimes revolting. And as the Atlantic slave trade expanded, Oyo became entangled in a system that corrupted its politics and drained its people. Then came Ilorin. Once a loyal province, it rose under the rebel general Afonja, allying with Fulani jihads sweeping in from the north. Ilorin turned against Oyo. Cavalry fought cavalry. Brothers fought brothers. And for the first time in centuries, Oyo was on the defensive. By the early 19th century, the unthinkable had happened. The empire that had terrified its rivals for 400 years collapsed. The Alafin's palace was abandoned. The cavalry disbanded. The warrior state was no more. And yet, Oyo never truly died. Its political traditions, councils, checks on kingship, religious societies survived among the Yoruba people. Its culture, drumming, festivals, gods still thrives in Nigeria and even across the Atlantic, carried by enslaved Yoruba to Brazil, Cuba, and the Americas. Today, the spirit of Oyo lives on in Yoruba pride, Yoruba art, and Yoruba identity. The empire may have fallen, but its echoes still shape the world. The Oyo Empire rose from legend, built a warrior state that rivaled the greatest powers of its time, and left behind a legacy that endures centuries after its fall. But what do you think? Could Oyo have survived if it had adapted to the new world of gunpowder and empires? Let us know in the comments below. And if you want more stories of forgotten kingdoms and ancient powerhouses, join us again on Echoes of the Ancients.
Echoes of the Ancients, and subscribe.